Hi, my name is Allison Kaplan. I'm Director of Education at the National First Ladies Library. Today we're going to talk about women's suffrage. This year is the celebration of 100 years since the passage of the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote. So what is suffrage? Suffrage doesn't really mean suffering, it means fighting for the right to vote. And back in the 19th century, women didn't have voting rights. They didn't have rights to own property. If they divorced their husbands, their children went to their husband. If they made money, their money went to their husband. So they had no representation at all. And they were pretty angry about it. So they took to the streets and they protested and they marched and they made signs and they traveled across the country giving speeches talking about suffrage. Not everybody liked the suffragists. Some of them were really mad about them. And today we're going to talk about the cat as the symbol of suffrage. So the anti-suffragists, the people who didn't like the women fighting for the right to vote, those people who thought that the women should stay at home and take care of their families, they often use the cat in political cartoons to represent that. So here's an example of a poster from that time period. And one of their biggest fears was that men would be stuck at home taking care of kids. So here's the man whose wife has left to be a suffragist, and down below you can see a little baby with a cat. So the cat became this negative image of women at the time. And cats, do they go outside? No, they spend all of their time at home. They purr, they meow, and they became kind of representative of women at the time. What about dogs? They get to go outside, they run around, they have a lot more to do, kind of like the role that men played at the time. They got to go out of the house more. So there were lots of cartoons that portrayed women as these cats and men as dogs. But the women got upset and decided to reclaim it. So sometimes they drew themselves with dogs in some of their newspapers, their suffrage papers and cartoons, but they also adopted the cat as a friendly image for the suffrage movement. And one group of ladies was especially influential in making the cat an important person or animal in suffrage, and that was Nell Richardson and Alice Burke, who traveled in 1916 across the country giving speeches about women's rights. And here you can see them in their car, which was kind of newfangled and exciting at the time. But they also had another mascot named after the car, the Golden Flyer, the company that made the car, Saxon. And this was their little cat Saxon that they picked up on their road trip. So Saxon became a mascot for the movement. And there's even a picture book that you can find about these two ladies and their cat. It's called Around America to Win the Vote, by Mara Rockcliffe and illustrated by Hadley Hopper. And I'm going to show you a few pictures from it. Here you can see them taking off in their yellow Golden Flyer, and yellow was really a symbol for the suffrage movement, or a color for the suffrage movement at the time. And here you can see them meeting up with their cat. So they traveled all around the country, speaking out for suffrage at parties, on street corners, and they worked very hard. And when they got home, they had a huge celebration and parade. So this is one of the ways that women fought for the right to vote. And in the year 1920, the 19th Amendment was ratified and women got the right to vote. So we're going to offer you a fun activity to help celebrate the Centennial of women's rights. We have, thanks to our friends at the National Park Service, this really cool sheet that you can color with a suffrage cat on it. So you can add yellow, you can add purple, which were the suffrage colors for the United States, or any colors that you want. Go online, download it, and share your suffrage cat with us.